there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today we're going to take a look at the watercolor pencils that I have. I've been doing a series on my YouTube channel where I take a particular type of supply and I go through all the ones that I have and compare them. I've done alcohol-based markers, watercolor markers, colored pencils, oh, I don't know if I've done any other ones, but, watercolor crayons. And that way it can just give you a bit of an insight over a particular product and help you decide if you're looking to purchase something, what you might want, or maybe reinvigorate your passion for some of those products. Just a few disclaimers. I have a lot of different products because I have a YouTube channel and I review some of these on the channel. I've been using these products for over 20 years, and I also teach workshops, and when I teach workshops I need to provide the supplies for my students, so that's what I do with all these additional duplicate sets and stuff. I bring them with me and to workshops I teach. So we're going to start off with some of the budget pencils. And hey, I'm not perfect. I may say and I mean, I would love not to say those things. I would love to be able to just like get rid of that dead air, but hey, I'm not perfect. So I did it again. So there you have it. This is not Martha Stewart, and I'm doing my best, guys. We're going to start off with budget pencils. I'm going to start off with this brand here, Pagos. A 72 set is $31 currently. I've seen them in the $25 to $30 range. You can buy them with the regular pencils, the regular colored pencils, for like $52 if you want both ranges. The colors match exactly with the colored pencil line, and here you can see what they look like swatched out and diluted. And I'm just going to try to like go for a similar color in each one that I show here, just to kind of give you an idea of what they're going to look like. This is just sulfite drawing paper from Blick. I really like this type of paper, but you can see they lay down pretty smoothly. And then I'm just going to use a water brush. They're just a round pencil, very, very budget friendly. Just going to squeeze out a little bit and blot it. And you can see you get a really nice color payoff, especially for such a budget pencil. Now there are some other budget pencils I've had that I've given away. I had a set of 36 Reeves and a set of maybe 36, maybe more Fantasia pencils. Those were decent, but I just didn't need them. I had so many other ones. I like them. I think they're a good product for the price. The next one we're going to look at are the Arteza, and this is what they look like here. They come in sets of 48 for $25, 72 for $34, and 120 for $69. Oh, I also wanted to say that these pencils were sent to me by the Pagos company for free to review, and the Artezas were also sent to me by the Arteza company for free to review. I just wanted to let you know if I paid for something or not, how much I paid for it, and all that jazz. So I'm just going to lift out the trays until I find a color that is similar. These trays are a little flimsy. Most of them are. Well, that one looks kind of close. Let me see. Oh, of course, the last place you look, the last tray. This one looks pretty close. Let's go with that one. Laydown is quite similar, maybe a little bit more compact. Also, I apologize for any, and I'm not using very much pressure here. Apologize for any noises. I've been trying to wait for a quiet moment, but it's winter in Maine and I film in my basement. And as you probably can notice, I'm in the old craft area. I don't know if you can tell that or not, but so I don't have a wall breaking off or blocking off some of the sound. See, about the same actually. Those colors matched really well. And these are hexagonal shaped. They kind of remind me of the Albright Drawer pencils. Very vibrant. I like these a lot too, and I do have a review on these on my channel. I actually also have the 72 set, but that's in a, I have it with my original 72 Arteza pencils in a wallet, pencil wallet. All right. I would say they're pretty comparable. I might give the edge to Arteza just because they do seem to have, but I don't know, looking at them side by side, I'd say they're pretty comparable. I would have, if I was just going on memory, I would have said the Artezas were more pigmented, but apples to apples, they seem about the same. The next one is kind of an interesting product. I think these have been discontinued, but I did see some sets on Amazon. What really intrigued me about these watercolor pencils by Prima Marketing was the hair and skin tone set, because a lot of times you buy watercolor pencils and they are lacking in the hair and skin tones, your earth tones. And so I thought that was really neat that they came out with a set that was just the hair and skin tones. And they're nice thick lead. They lay down really good. And then I also got the other colors. Now these, my friend Kathy got me this as a present because she knew I was interested in them when they came out. And then these other ones came from a company called Hallmark Scrapbook. They're Primas, but they sent them to me to review. And I also really like the store Hallmark Scrapbook. They have great prices. They don't have as much selection as some of the other stores, but what they have, the prices are awesome. Oh, that color's probably pretty close. But the thing that I didn't like with the Prima pencils is that there was so many duplications of colors within the sets. So if you bought, say, the set of, whatever these were called, these the essentials. If you bought this set of, what do they call it? Spring and fall. So on all the ones in the spring and fall, I put a wide striped washi tape on it. You're also going to have colors from other sets. That's what those other strips of washi tape signify. Because I went through one day and I'm just like, how many duplications are in here? And like almost every set has several duplications in it. So if you bought all the sets, you had a lot of doubles. With the fact that these are probably discontinued now, maybe you'd be happy to have those duplicates. But I thought that was kind of a bummer because a lot of times you want to, you want to build up your collection as you go. And, if you buy one tin at a time, you get all these doubles and there's no way to get, just like one set with all the colors in it. These actually seem a little weaker than the Arteza and the Pagos, but I think they're pretty. I think they're decent pencils. If you got them, use them for sure. Now this set right here is what lives on next to my table in my main workroom, and in it I have the Spectrum Noir Aqua Blends, and I also have Prismacolors. And the reason I have these two full sets on my table is because I feel that like the Aqua Blends are not, they're also sent to me by Hallmark Scrapbook. They're fairly affordable. I like the way that they do their sets, and I keep the tins. When I put something in like a rack like that, I still keep the tins in case I want to change my mind and put something else out. They lay down with very little pressure. The light fastness, they say the light fastness is good, but I don't have like particular ratings on these, but that was just kind of what the company said. If you like allow them to, if you trust what a company has to say about their own light fastness without providing pigment information. But I really like them. I thought the pigmentation was pretty good, and they've just always got the job done. They were inexpensive enough if I had to replace them that I wasn't going to feel too precious about having them out and using them. And I really like the color range, and the thing I liked about them is that if you bought a set of 24, say you bought the 24 floral set, and then, because you had enough in your budget to buy that set, then like next month you bought the essential set, next month you bought the primaries. There's no duplications between the 24 sets. So I like that. I know they have some 12 sets too. I don't have any of those. I don't know if they're new colors or if they're just reimaginations of the color line. But I really like them, and I still think I would give the edge to Arteza for pigmentation, or Pagos for in the budget. In the budget variety. Arteza's a smidgen more expensive than the Pagos pencils. Their 72 is 34 and Pagos is 31. But yeah, I think they're a little more pigmented actually than the Prima and the Spectrum Noir Aqua Blend. I actually think the Prima and the Aqua Blend are the same pencil. We can look at them. I don't think they look exactly the same, but in feel, to me they felt so much the same. I'm seeing if I can find a black one here. Not that it really... Oh, that one's not scented very well. Let's just do this. Let's do Prima. And let's do Aqua Blend. Laydown feels identical. Now let's just dilute it. I'm going to use a different water brush though, because I'm trying to use like pretty similar color. I'm going to squeeze some out and blot it. So I squeezed it, blotted it on my rag. There's the Prima black. Wipe my brush off. And there's the Aqua Blend. They feel pretty similar to me. Excuse me. Yeah, I would say, I mean, they just kind of feel, sometimes, you just get a pencil and you're like, boy, that feels just like, that just feels like another brand I have. I feel like these two are the same pencil. I would not be surprised if they came from the same factory. Something else that that I've been having a hard time when I research online prior to buying pencils, or if I'm trying to compare, figuring out where things are made. So this is made in China. I think so are the Spectrum Noir. The Artezas, I believe, are made in China. Yep. And the Pagos are made in Vietnam. So just to give you a little more information there. The next one we're going to look at is one that I don't have a lot of colors from. It's the Super Color from Dosh. I bought a few open stock because I was curious about them. Somebody had asked me to review them, and so I just grabbed a few colors. I don't have that many, and I like them, but it's just the fact that I had so many pencils already, I didn't want to invest in another set, so that's what I have. I guess I'll go with this one here because it's about the same value as the other ones. I've never used the Dosh Museum Aquarelle, but you can find so many reviews online. You know, look at a couple people's channels if you're curious about a pencil, and, you know, see what you come up with. And also look at their artwork and not just the review, and see, like, if you like the art that they're doing with those products. Okay, so I feel like that maybe, it might not lay down quite as much pigment all at once, but let's do, whoa, but look at that though. It didn't seem like it was laying down very much, like the pencil felt harder, but look at the color payout. That's great. Let's do the pink too, just because I didn't have exactly the same color. This might be the most boring video ever. I hope not. The thing with watercolor pencils is you get a lot more, I think you get more bang for your buck. You add a little water to a watercolor pencil and you just get so much more. Now that was a paler color and it did come out very pale, but we'll do this blue too, just for, I'm not using much pressure. And this is a smooth paper, it's a drawing paper, so there. Yeah, that was a fairly pale color. The red paid off pretty good, but honestly, these are about $2 each, and I don't know if they are, I think I would sooner go for Arteza or Pagos. Now, Dosh will have better light fastness. They have light fast ratings right on the thing. These two looks like they're lower light fast. Let's see, these are 2, 3, 2. I'm not sure what their scale is. I would say probably colors like this are not going to be the most light fast, but there are light fastness ratings on the Arteza pencils. I don't think the Pagos has light fastness information on it, but the Arteza do. Whether you can decide how much faith you put in the light fastness ratings of companies, but that's there anyway if you're curious about it. Now the next one is the Albright Drawer, and I actually have a few Albright Drawers in here because I picked up a bag of Albright Drawer pencils at a stamp show. They were crazy cheap. I think they must have been like selling off some workshop stuff, and I'm like, well, I really know I like those pencils. I'm gonna grab them. I also have a tin of them here. I got these, I would say late 90s, quite a long time ago. I bought the polychromos first, and well, let's see if I can find a perfect match here. I bought the polychromos first. I love that their trays are sturdy and have these little elastics to pull out the layers. You don't get that with the Derwent set, unfortunately. The Derwent set, even in their light fast range, the trays are really flimsy, and I don't like that. But I found these to be really beautiful. Let's do, this one looks pretty close, I think, to the others. So the packaging is nice. The tin is heavier weight than a lot of the other tins. And these are light fast pencils, so you do pay for them, but they're not as expensive as the Super Color Dosh, and that's not even Dosh's highest line. These are $1.45 each if you're buying them open stock in bulk at Blick. Like, I think it's like maybe 48 or more colors. I think they're like maybe around 2 if you're just getting like 12 or less. I don't know, like, it's hard to remember, or $164 for 120, and they've been that price for quite a while. But I like the fact that they do have really good light fastness, and they're so low wearing. I've done several paintings with these, and I haven't barely made a dent in them. Of course, they're kind of on the precious range, so they don't use them as much as the others. I really should, though. They have the little light fastness ratings on them. And these should be made in Germany, I believe. Made in Germany, yes. I'm looking for a light fastness range. Very light fast is 3, light fast is 2, and reasonably light fast is 1. A lot of these have 2 or 3. A lot of them have 3s. So that's great. I would trust their light fastness ratings. They're an older company. They've been around a long time, and they have a lot of I would say, what do you call it, reputation, a lot of experience behind them. And yeah, I think that's probably one of the best bargains right there, even though that does seem kind of expensive. But when you're looking for trusted light fastness, your stuff's not going to fade. I would say that they're probably one of the top picks. All right, the next one we're going to look at is the Derwent Watercolor. I have a very old set, but I don't think they reformulate their pencils very often. I apologize for the glare because we're in the old craft space, craft storage space filming today because that's where all this stuff is. This is what the range looks like. This is a 72 set, and I got this in the late 90s. It was a gift from my mom. And oh, and I personally purchased the Faber-Castell set, and I think I paid around $160 for it, either at Blick or Cheap Joe's, like late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere around there. So this is what the range of colors look like. I find the Derwent watercolor pencils to be nice. They're kind of, they're decent, but they almost, nowadays, they almost remind me of one of the more budget versions that you can get for much cheaper. Let's find a color that's pretty close. I'd say this Madder Carmine's pretty close. They're a little bit harder and drier, but keep in mind, these are also like 20 years old, but so with your Albright Drawers, and they're, I don't feel like I get as much color down when I'm going over with the same amount of pressure with these. These run $1.64 each, open stock, or you can get a set of 72 for $100. If it was me, I would definitely pick the Artezas. I find the color payout to be pretty weak. I mean, they were the first watercolor pencils I had, and you know, they were probably maybe the first watercolor pencils to ever be sold. But I'm going to grab just another red just to see. Let me see. Did I use 15? Because no, that was 19. Let's try 15. Let's see what that one, how that one does. Because I feel like that might be fair. I am giving a little bit more pressure here, to be fair. But I would think the light fastness on Derwent might be a little bit better. Oh, no, that one paid off pretty well. And I wasn't giving it a ton of pressure, but I was giving it more than I had been on the other ones. So these, I believe, are made in Britain. Let me see. Made in Great Britain. And I don't know if there's light fastness information on these. I do not see light fastness information. They may have it on their website, but I don't know if I would count on this older set being included in that. The next one we're going to look at is the Derwent Inktense. Those are one of my favorites. I like it because I can use it on fabric, and once you have wet it, it is supposed to be permanent. I found it to be permanent on fabric once it's been wet, but I keep a set of 36 Prismacolor in this wallet with my Inktense. So that's what the Inktense range looks like. The Inktense range is 72. You can get these in watercolor pans, blocks, or in the pencils. For some reason, I find I haven't used the pans, but the pencils seem to be more rich than the blocks. The blocks almost seem a little chalky to me, and we can look at that. We can compare that in a minute. So let's look for, I think 510 or 520 is pretty comparable to what we've been looking at so far. So let me open up this wallet and find that color. I don't know if the caps on mine have faded. 520 here. I don't know if my cap, the flash on the end has faded on some of these colors. It would stand to reason with the lighter ones, although I usually have them in a wallet, so I'd be surprised if that was the case. They're extremely vibrant. You can wet them down and then go over them, like glaze over them without lifting them underneath. I find if you do a heavy application though, you can still lift it up, I think, because maybe not all of it gets liquefied. Now that one didn't look as fabulous as I thought it was, so maybe the end thing is a little bit more accurate on that one. Let's try this one right here. Same amount of pressure. I'm trying to be very fair with the amount of pressure and the amount of water. Yeah, that's a little bit more vibrant. These are fun. These are great for all sorts of different craft applications, from fabric to paper, and I really like them. I think they're a lot of fun. Now I'll show you the blocks. They look like this, and I was really bummed when I ordered these because, and let's see, I paid $70, I think, for the set of 72 Inktense pencils. It was a crazy sale, and then this, I can't remember. I usually try to get pencils for around $1 a piece in a set if I'm going to buy them. So it was probably, they were probably around $70 on Blick. I had to reinforce the trays though because the trays came all cracked. And some of the blocks actually came cracked too, which was kind of a bummer for buying them, you know, brand new off a major website. But they sent me replacements for the cracked things. Not that it really mattered, but I was just kind of bummed out because I just bought them, so I wanted them to be pristine, but they didn't have any extra trays to send me. So that's not even the same color. Huh, let's try. The thing I don't like about these is like the after using them a little bit, the stuff, you can't see the imprint from the color, so it's really hard to tell what color you have unless you put everything right back in the same spot. And they are really good for fabric painting because you can kind of like pick it up like a pan of watercolors. That's why I didn't get the watercolor ones, because I have these. But they always seemed a little chalkier to me than the pencils. Maybe I'm just imagining things, but other people said they've felt the same when I've talked to them about it. So we'll see. And there's little spaces in the sets if you want to mix up like a wash of color, which is kind of nice. But yeah, I definitely want to reinforce those trays because they're super flimsy on the Derwent products. I'm not sure why. Even their lightfast is very flimsy. So I do recommend those, especially if you like to do mixed media or if you're a quilter or something like that. Now here we have the Mondulas set of 36. These are watercolor pencils by Koh-I-Noor. These are made in the Czech Republic. And let's see if there's light fastness readings on these pencils. I really like these pencils. I think this is a great set. I think the most they have is 36, and this set of 36 would be $45. That's what the range looks like. So not that crazy expensive compared to other ones. It looks like 7 will be the color that's the closest. I really could use to sharpen this, but they lay down, they feel dry. Actually, a lot of watercolor pencils feel kind of drier next to regular colored pencils. Lays down really easy. Added water, blotted off the excess. You get a good color payout. And as far as the artist quality pencils, they do have a pretty good, you know, they are pretty comparable. And I'm just seeing if there's light fastness information on here. I don't see it, but they might have it on their website. I haven't checked. But these are, you know, a little over $1 a piece. I believe they're open stock some places. Blick didn't have them open stock, so they might be tougher to find. I've also heard that Koh-I-Noor makes the Blick Studio pencils, which wouldn't surprise me because they have that kind of dry feeling that the Progressa, what's it called? The Polycolor have by them. So it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. So I think I'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to look at some of the specialty pencils and the woodless pencils. Oh, also, I forgot to mention that the Mondulas set was sent to me by Chart Pack, the kind of parent company of Koh-I-Noor, or the US distributor. And they sent me those because I was doing a class for Craftsy, and they wanted to send me some products to see if I might be able to use them in the Craftsy class. So I just wanted to make sure I disclose all of that stuff while I've got all these things here. The next thing we're going to look at are the Derwent metallic pencils. Now these are discontinued. They have reformulated them, and they are now a non-water soluble pencil, but they have released a set of pan watercolors that are these metallic colors. So if you like them, you can get a pan set of watercolors. These on their own did not really excite me. I didn't really like them very much, but I think if I use these with Graphite tint, and that's my expectation of these colors, they would be much more pleasant to work with. They have a decent amount of sheen when you use them dry, and they'll show up on black paper when you use them dry, but the second you add water to them, it just kind of gets rid of the metallic aspect. So let me just squeeze and blot on my brush here. So it does give you some color payout, but then you lose that metallic. And if you're doing it on black, you completely, like, when it dries, it's just kind of chalky and blech. So these are discontinued, but you can get the pans. The pans are like $25 for a set of 12 pans, I believe. It would be the same colors are in the pencil. So if you buy the pencil now, you'll get a wax pencil, and I think that actually be nicer to work with, quite frankly, because it would stay nice and thick and opaque on dark color, which is what you probably want to use these for. So they did not, you know, knock my socks off. with the, and they were expensive too. I think I paid $26 for these, or maybe that was a regular price and I used a coupon, but whatever I paid for them, it was too much. I was very disappointed with them. So if you want to get these, you probably can find them on Amazon. Just make sure you get the silver barrel ones if you want them to be water soluble. And if you want to make sure you get the new kind, Blix sells a new kind, make sure it's got a gold barrel, like a rose gold color, coppery gold color barrel. Recent Smart Art Box had this old style in there, and you might be able to purchase a past box, but I think it'd be a lot to pay just for, you know, 12 pencils, quite frankly, unless you like the other stuff that was in the box. These guys are actually really interesting, and once I thought of like using the metallics with these, they got a lot more appealing in my mind. These are the Graphite pencils by Derwent, and they are really interesting. Now let me see, what color is this? This one's called Juniper number 2. So I don't know what's going on with some of these, like the caps on some of my older Derwent pencils. It's almost like either they faded out completely or they just were never accurate. Like this Juniper color is like a pinkish and it looks just completely gray there. That might be the closest that I can get to these other colors. So I do notice that the caps on these are not very accurate, but maybe they just fade over time. I have no idea. Maybe they started off accurate. So I'm just going to do a couple of the Derwent Graphite colors. I'll do this Juniper color. Lays down really good because of the graphite. So these are a water-soluble tinted graphite. Now I believe Spectrum Noir actually has a set of water-soluble graphite as well. I've never used it. I've only used these because I figured how much of that would you really use? That's the aubergine eggplant color, and this is the Juniper. So it's very subtle, very pretty for landscapes, especially if you live like where I do, the Maine coast. It's got those colors in it. So it's a nice, pretty color palette. But it's very muted, so make sure that you want that muted. So I'm actually going to put my Derwent metallics with these. Next time I use them, I'm going to use them together because I think they would really benefit. I think it would benefit each other. Both sets would be benefited by having them together. These go for $3 a piece, which I think is a little pricey because usually water-soluble graphite is not that expensive. A set of 24 is $50. That's this size set here. And this actually must be a fairly new one because it's got the new Derwent logo on it as opposed to the, oh my gosh, this is like 2 logos ago. That's like 2 logos ago. Oh my gosh. So it does have the newer Derwent logo on it. But yeah, that would be a set like this would be $50. I think that's a little bit pricey. You can get a set of 12 for $23. So that's probably your best. That might be your best bet if you're looking to try them. And you can get these in pans as well. $20 for a 12 color pan set of these. So it's kind of strange. The pricing on those are kind of weird. But there it is. There are other, like I said, there's other companies that make a water-soluble graphite. You could always use a water-soluble graphite pencil and use some watercolor pencils with it and get a similar effect to see if you even like it before investing. But you do get like an interesting granulation with those colors, and it's something fun and different. You might like it, you might not. I don't know. Only you know. All right, now we're going to go over to the, the Woodless Watercolor Pencils. I have gotten something on the bottom of that. Hold on, I'm going to get an eraser. All right, clean that up in the jiffy. All right, good enough. So the first ones I'm going to look at here are a brand new product. These are the Albright Woodless Watercolor Pencils, and this is what they look like. They are a lacquered watercolor pencil, and I did a full in-depth comparison between these, the Arteza, and the Koh-I-Noor Woodless because they all seem very similar. And they also look a lot like the Koh-I-Noor, what are they called? They're Woodless Watercolor Pencils. I can't remember what their name, maybe they're Progresso. Their wax ones are called Progresso. But anyways, lays down really nice. They come pre-sharpened in a nice tight little cylinder, so they're not going to bang around. They're made in China, and they cost $45 for a set of 24. I'm just going to blot off my brush. You get good color payout. I think they're lovely. I did a video on different ways to use them if you're curious. Now the other products that are very similar to that are the oh, and Altenew sent these to me. I took part in one of their blog hops, and that was one of the products that they were highlighting. The Arteza are also very similar. You get 24 for $21, so they're less than half the price. I think they're very comparable. The color family is a little bit different, so you could, if you had both sets, you could use them together and have a broader range. But quality-wise, color payout-wise, I found them to be very similar. And the other set that's very close to these other Koh-I-Noor. So these are all a very hard woodless watercolor pencil. Let's see, I don't have anything exactly that color in the Koh-I-Noor. Now my issues with the Koh-I-Noor, and I've had these for a long time, they crack. They've cracked. I'm not sure why, but in any event they have, and that was kind of a bummer. I don't know if it's because I store them in the basement, but I store all these other things in the basement too, and that's the only thing that I've ever had that happen to. I'm just wondering if maybe they were in a travel bag once and they got wet. Actually, I almost find the color payout on these to be a little bit less. Maybe they're a little bit harder. Maybe it's because of their age. I'm not sure, but these, I never really cared for these very much. These were a gift from my mom, and I think they come, 72 I think is the biggest set you can get for $141. They're $2.34 to $2.60 each, and a set of 12 like this would be $28. These are made in Austria. Koh-I-Noor. Yeah, Koh-I-Noor is the brand, made in Austria. I don't really recommend them, however, since you can get 72 colors open stock, if you used up an Altenew or an Arteza, or you just wanted to augment that line with a similar product, you could order just one color or two colors from Koh-I-Noor and add that for a very almost identical experience and product. So you could expand your collection that way. And they probably have light fastness information on their website, because Koh-I-Noor is a pretty popular brand. I think Koh-I-Noor might make the Soho color pencils for Jerry's Autorama. That's my hunch there. But those are pretty much like exactly like your watercolor pencils, except they just don't have wood. Now the next product we're going to look at is a softer pencil. These are the Derwent Aquatone. Sadly, Derwent discontinued this product, and I really enjoyed these. I'm so sad they did. They only had a range of 24 colors, and I received a set of 12 for a present from my mother. And then I went and purchased the other colors open stock, and I think I got them at Jerry's right. It was probably right about the time I heard they were going to be discontinued. I think I bought the other colors because I like them so much. But oh, that doesn't even show very well. I'm gonna go with a different color. Maybe that color just isn't a good one. Wonderful color payout. A little softer than the other products. Like, I'm using the same pressure and I'm getting more color dry. They're also really good for some mixed media techniques, which I'll show you in a minute. Oh yeah, that's a little bit better. Really easy to dissolve the lines. I just always really like this, and you can use every single bit of the color. Now, the only place I could find that had these in stock, and they don't have all the colors, but Carpe Diem Markers has these for $3.49 each. So that was the regular price they were. If you wanted to see if they have the colors you need, you could go check them out. I've never ordered from them, but I've heard really good things about them. So so you can check that out. Now, something I like to do with these is take a rubber stamp and spritz it with water. So I'm going to do this not over my paper. And then I would use, and you could use any of these products. Any of the woodless products, I should say. The woodless are going to work a lot better. To just kind of add some color to the rubber. This is great if you don't have a lot of ink pads, because ink pads can be really pricey. I'll add some of this lighter color here. I think this will go in a little bit of darker color too. And you can give another spray if it feels like it's drying up on you. And then you can just stamp. And a lot of times you can spray it. Sometimes you can stamp it again without spraying it. But you can spray it and you can keep on stamping it, which is really fun for doing like scrapbook backgrounds, and any of those woodless pencils will work really well for that. So I do like that. Clean it with water and a toothbrush and you'll be good to go. So yeah, that's that. And then what I was thinking after I was doing the watercolor crayon video, I didn't include the Dina Wakley Scribble Sticks because quite frankly I forgot I had them. And I didn't include the Jane Davenport Aqua Pastels because they feel much harder than a regular watercolor crayon. Now the Jane Davenport Aqua Pastels are Very similar. I think they're the same as the Mungyo and Sargent watercolor crayons, and I'm very familiar with those because I used to teach with them. And actually, this color might be a little bit closer. And these Jane Davenport ones are 26 bucks for 12 on Michaels. But the Sargent or the Mungyo crayons, which I think are the same thing, are $20 for 24 or $29 for 26. So you do have a different color scheme in those sets. But if you wanted to augment these, if you liked both, you could do that. Pretty similar color payout to the Woodless Watercolor Pencils, and that's why I wanted to have it with the Woodless Watercolor Pencils, because as watercolor crayons, they don't really excite me, but if I look at them as a Woodless Watercolor Pencil, I feel like that's more apples to apples comparison, because they are a quite a bit harder product. Now also, we have the Dina Wakley Scribble Sticks, which are also harder than a Caran d'Ache, a little bit softer than a watercolor pencil, but they definitely are closer to a watercolor pencil than a watercolor crayon. And I can add a little water to that. Just gonna squeeze and blot my brush. Oh, I'm running out of water here. I feel like these have a little bit more color payout than the Jane Davenport Mungyo ones, but very, very similar. But they're also much harder than, I brought my Lyra and the Caran d'Ache over too, because I thought that I wanted to show those kind of side by side just to show you the difference. So Lyra ones are definitely smoother, waxier, and creamier feeling for the same amount of pressure. I don't have a pink in that line, but I can do a red anyway. And then I'm going to grab a couple Caran d'Ache just to kind of show you. Let's see, I got a pink. Oh, the thing I also like about Caran d'Ache, if you buy a set, they come in a nice steel tray with a plastic insert, so you don't have the flimsiness. So this is a Caran d'Ache, about the same as a Lyra. They're very, very similar. Turns out I didn't lose my Lyra watercolor crayons. They were over with my spray stains for some reason. And that's why it's important to put your hands on all your products once a year so that you know what you have. I'm gonna pour, because I want to keep using the same brush just for comparison. So I'm going to see if I can pour some of this water into it, because I used it up. It was full when we started. Oh, it's very difficult to fill a water brush this way, but I did it. Alright. Now let me just squeeze out make sure I clean it and blot it. So these are the Lyra. You can see already they're a much thicker product. That's why I put those with a watercolor crayon and water-soluble crayon products and not with watercolor pencils, and that's why I put those with watercolor pencils, because I want it to be more apples to apples. Because if I compared these and the aqua pastels, if I compared these to these two products, you can see how kind of thin and wimpy they look. But when I compare these with the Woodless Watercolor Pencil, that's really more of what they are. So I just wanted to put that out there. So if you have the Scribble Sticks or you have the Aqua Pastels and you're like, geez, they don't feel, or you might think, I don't like watercolor crayons, they're just too dry. They're different. These are definitely more like a Woodless Watercolor Pencil. So look at them that way when you're creating with them, and I think you'll have much better results with them. There are 3 different series of the Scribble Sticks, sets of 12. They're anywhere between 16 and 20 bucks. Maybe even more depending on where you buy them. On Amazon anyway, that's the price. I only bought the first one and I paid $16 for it because I used a coupon at a big box store, and I just wasn't that impressed with them because I was looking at them, comparing them to my Caran d'Ache. But looking at them as a substitute for Aquatone, I think these are a great substitution for Aquatone. Let's see if I can find another color. Let me see if I can find Aquatone compatible colors here, because I think that might be much more affordable too if you go with, let's see, this is the Aquatone, this is a Scribble Stick. So the Scribble Sticks are a little bit fatter, but they're shorter. Let's do them side by side so I can really see. That's Scribble Stick. Aquatone might feel a little bit harder, but you know, I think they're very, very comparable. I'm just seeing if I have another color. Let's see, I might have a navy in the Aquatone or something fairly close. Because that's going to be a lot easier for you to come by. As far as I know, they might even be coming out with more colors. I have no idea, but there's 36 colors of the Scribble Sticks. There was only 24 of the Aquatone. So it might be a nice nice option, as are the Mungyo crayons. As long as you don't think of them as watercolor crayons, you don't think of them being as smooth and creamy, as long as you realize they're going to be more more dry and hard feeling. I think these are going to be, I think these would be pretty good options. So there's Scribble sticks. I think I used too much water. Shoot. Yeah, I think they're quite comparable. Actually, I think the Scribble sticks might actually give you a little bit more color payout. I think I have too much water. Ah, gosh, too much water. Yeah, actually, I mean, I like that blue and the Scribble sticks better. I think I kind of want to put these in my tin with my Aquatones because they are, I think they would work really well together. And I'm not going to use them in place of a Caran d'Ache because they're just too thin, but definitely would use them with like a Woodless Watercolor pencil. So basically, that's what I wanted to share today. I hope you found it useful. I hope it helps you decide what you might want for a watercolor crayon. My picks out of all of these, my budget pick would have to go to, would definitely go to Arteza. I think that would be my budget pick because of the larger color range. If that's something you're interested in, and the fact that they do offer light fastness ratings. And then my pick for the more artist quality would be the Albright Drawer because they have a decent price and they've got a wonderful color selection and you can buy them open stock and replace them. I think for what you pay, you get what you pay for there. You get more than you pay for there, I think, with those. I do like the Inktense. I've heard you can use the Albright Drawer also on fabric like you can the Inktense. So but I'd say Albright Drawer for a fine art application where you're worried about light fastness, and Inktense if you want a more mixed media application. Those would be my two best picks for artist grade, I'd say. By the way, I have tried the Prismacolor watercolor pencils and I absolutely do not recommend them. The color payout is low, the price is high for what they are, and I'm wondering if they might discontinue that product. I had actually I bought a couple open stock, I didn't like them. I tried somebody else's set, didn't like them. They just felt kind of soapy, if you know what I mean. They just kind of like they used a detergent to break down like it was the same lead, but they just put detergent in it or something to break it down. I just don't recommend them. I would go with the Reeves. I think the Reeves are better quality than the Prismacolor watercolor pencils anyway. And then the other ones are just kind of just, you know, your preferences for colors, your preferences for the feel of the pencils. Really, I mean, they're like Altenew, Arteza, and Crayoncolor are so similar. I would just go with whatever's cheapest, which would be the Arteza. But the Altenew has a certain color palette that's really pleasing, so it really just depends on what you like. This is what I have. I've given some sets away in the past because I didn't see myself using them long term, but I'm really happy with these, and I hope you found this useful. Thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoy these comparison videos, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I'll help you if I can. Thanks, and until next time, happy crafting.